This is Japan, the world's third largest and most advanced economy, the healthiest country in the world, where you will find 90-year-olds walking around, zero crime rate, top quality education and a great standard of living. They make Japan an ideal country to live in, but behind all this progress and development lies a very grim reality, a dark reality that few people talk about. In today's video, we're going to uncover that fact, and how Japan may collapse in the near future. Many people may have forgotten this now, but in 1980, Japan was considered the next superpower. At that time, it was widely believed that Japan would soon replace America and control the entire world economy in the same way as China is doing today. In America, there was a lot of concern about Japan. Even entire movies were made on it, such as Die Hard, Rising Sun, Blade Runner, etc., which showed how Japanese corporations would take over the entire United States. This was the main reason for this fear. The impressive economic growth that Japan achieved in the last few years. At that time, Japan's economic system was considered much better and stronger than the Western economic model. Japanese stock markets were booming. Japan's stuff was all over the world. Whether it was cars, electronics, or medical equipment, people in Japan at that time knew that they would get a job immediately after graduating from university. And then there's life set, because in Japan every job is a lifetime job. Japan was literally unstoppable, and by 1990 had become the world's second largest economy. But then in 1991 something happened that was going to change the entire future of Japan. In fact, before 1990, Japan was experiencing an economic boom that no country in the world had experienced before. Real estate was going up, the stock market was at a peak, the banks were constantly printing money. And getting a loan was so easy that banks didn't even ask what you needed a loan for, but then one day the whole bubble burst. Between 1990 and 1991, Japan's stock market crashed 43% and so did real estate prices dropped more than 50%. Because of the unlimited supply of loans, people literally created zombie companies, which went bankrupt many years ago. But it was never closed because of the loan from the banks. The Japanese market collapsed so badly that no one wanted to invest in it anymore. Japan had now become the sick man of Asia, from an economic tiger. But such ups and downs keep coming in economies, so what happened to Japan? Actually something like this was going to happen to Japan, which was going to affect an entire generation. To understand this incident, we have to understand Japan's job culture. Starting your corporate career in Japan with Shishoku Kitsudo is a job hunting procedure, which every university graduate has to go through. All the big companies hire only fresh graduates, and every candidate has to go through a lot of interviews and screening procedures. A candidate who clears this tough process gets a lifetime job as per Shoshanko policy. Basically, the company you get a job in Japan cannot leave for the rest of your life. This is not a law. But the culture has become so strong that no job is given to those who switch jobs. One advantage of this is that you get job security. It means you don't have tension that tomorrow you will be expelled. But on the other hand, the job market is very competitive. You spend your whole life with only one company, and you have to accept whatever decisions that company makes. This was the procedure of hiring in 1990s as well. And this continues till today. If you can't clear this interview process, then understand that now you will never get a job. It is a door that opens only once. In the economic crisis of the 1990s, all the big companies freeze their hiring, and for the next 13 years this hiring freezed. This period is also known as Japan's employment ice age. Those who graduated in 1990 did not get any jobs for the next 13 years. And when hiring reopened in 2004, he was 30 to 40 years old. And no Japanese company wanted to hire them because they only hire fresh graduates. This was a whole generation, about 20 million people, who are also called the lost generation of Japan. Some people of this lost generation are now doing low-paying jobs. But most of the people live with their parents and depend on them. That means, for millions of people in their 30s and 40s who are still living on their parents' money. Some of these people are hikikomori. Means, these are the people who were so disappointed during this period that they completely cut themselves off from the society. They stay at home all day and live on their parents' money. Neither do any work, not do any contact with anyone. And this is where Japan's second problem begins. Japan is one of the few countries in the world where people live longer. 30% of Japan's population is above the age of 60, and that is why Japan is also called a super-aging country. A big reason for this super-aging population is the lost generation who never got married due to lack of financial stability. And for this reason, the young generation that these 20 million peoples were supposed to produce could not come into the world. Today, these people are completely cut off due to not fulfilling the expectations of the society. How many people have committed suicide and how many have gone into early depression? This condition of these people has an effect on the society as well because these millions of people should have been in jobs. And all the money that should have come in the market did not come due to the non-appearance of these people. The current government of Japan is now very concerned about these people and it is trying to somehow make these people stand on their feet. But the Japanese government did not get any success in all this. And the reason for this is that, they cannot leave the competitive job culture. Every year many people who do not get jobs after graduation are joining this lost generation. Now the Japanese government will be able to solve this problem or not, and whether this generation will cause the downfall of Japan. Only time will tell. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel.